Hold on to your butts.
I'm dead, so.
Not dead yet. You're close. All right, so it's been a couple of weeks, so I'll go ahead and give us a quick recap. You had spent the last time when we were together exploring a little bit of what Phandalin has to offer. You had rescued Tina. You had made a friend. Oh, you popped off. You popped on. Poor Melissa.
Here she is.
Okay.
Today ain't the day, sorry.
You had rescued Tina the Bufo for Seth. You had made friends with the pirate gang, who specifically knew who Yassin was, and also, more importantly, knew who old Greg was and where Yassin's old ship was moored. Old Greg. And through a little bit of negotiating and helping out our pirate captain with his rash, his embarrassing rash. You had secured his services to go off and basically bait Greg and his crew to come back to port so that you can deal with them and perhaps even get your ship back. After that, you had ventured into town. You had met with the doctor and, well, our resident elf, Astrella, had some interesting words with her back and forth, exchanging of notes. And also you had received a vial of medicine for you, which we'll go into detail later about exactly how long that will last. But for a limited time, this other doctor, Stella, had told you that this will help with your current condition.
This will help with your rash.
This will help. Now, as you all stepped out and made your way to go back to the tavern where Kirin had been embarrassed thoroughly, his tail having been ripped off by Nim, but with Grim having learned that the tail was made of actual tiefling skin, and after the group had befriended Dareth, the rapping dwarf who is apprenticed to Kirin, you all are making your way back to the tavern to see if you can have a one-on-one with Kirin himself and sort of corner him. But as you do, you hear the screams of this blight boar as it walks out of the woods past the medical tent and towards the center of town. The four of you immediately put yourselves in between this creature and the rest of the town as everybody locks their doors, rushes away, and pretty much leaves everything behind you deserted. Using some inventive strategies that both failed and worked, you had a little bit of both, you succeeded in getting the blight boar down to, I would say, half of its life. You are halfway through this fight. And we ended with the blight boar using its lair action, summoning regular boars from the woods to do its bidding. And so 3 additional boars have entered this fight. Grim is pinned underneath the boar, having taken a direct hit from his rampaging charge, which has brought her life down to 13 from what it was. Hope is not lost, but this is where we begin today's session. As you all square up against this boar, and as the ones come out of the woods, the world shifts and changes. Night has now fully fallen. And in its place, and in the place of the sun, there is a storm that rages. Lightning flashes in the sky. Rain starts to pour down on all of you as you breathe heavy and stare this creature down. We are going to move to the top of our roster for combat, and that is going to be Nim, who leads the initiative with Grim on deck. Nim?
This is not fair. I was not prepared. I thought you were going to start from. I was not prepared. Okay.
Same.
But so Grim's pinned under it.
So right now the boar is sort of on top of Grim. She's not like pinned, it's more of a She's prone and on her back. She can get up and move on her turn. It's not holding her down, but it is kind of over her.
Fun. All right.
What do you want to do? I will also allow some table talk if the four of you want to strategize a small plan,
Lab.
figure things out. You guys can talk to each other. I'll give you a few seconds to do that.
My theory was just to try to back the thing off of where Grim is. I know she's not pinned under it, but like,
if you can back the thing off, I can attempt to be a cleric and heal her.
you could
If-
just
But quick little thing. I don't want it off of me.
Oh,
don't off of
it's a
you.
plan.
So
Okay.
just try to kill it as is.
So keep
If
it
you
where
can.
it's at. Okay.
Granted, I don't know if my thing will work, but if it do,
That's cool. That's cool. It's fine. I got you.
Grim's got a plan. I like this. Okay.
It's the girl with the plan, the main plan.
even
Alright,
under
well-
a bar.
See that, I am just going to try to, since I'm kind of on its side here now, right next to its tusk there,
Okay.
I'm going to try to use my quarterstaff and like jab it into its eyeball.
Okay. You're gonna try and blind it with your stick. Interesting.
Pepper spray.
That's great. Alrighty. Are you gonna try and is that just gonna be one attack? I know you can do two, right? As a monk, you can do 2 attacks.
I can. I will hold it, but like if she tries to hit me with that tusk, I want to dodge.
Okay, so you're gonna hold your action, but you want to dodge.
Correct.
Okay. All right. I've got you. Go ahead and roll in either athletics or acrobatics, whichever one is highest for you, to see if you can get up to the eyeball, because this creature is a little bit taller than you, so you'd have to jump, bound off its knee, you'd have to do something to get up there
I'll
to
jump
its
off
eye.
the tusk or whatever. It's fine.
All right.
Acrobatics or what? Athletics?
Or athletics, whichever one
Okay.
is higher for you, whatever your highest movement is.
Acrobatics. That is, I can't read it. 11 plus
Okay.
8.
Yep.
So 19.
Yep, that'll do it. Easy peasy. Go ahead and roll to see if you can break its AC.
Cool. Ooh, I rolled plus 8. Yeah, which is a 2 plus 8, so a 10.
That does
So
not.
it's not.
Do you still want to hold your second action? Your second attack.
No, so I already got up there, right?
You're up there. Like you'll get up there, but the first one's gonna miss. If you want to try and attack again, you don't have to hold. You can go for your second one.
Yeah, I'll try one more attack.
Okay.
Let's see if I can do a pop pop. A 12 plus 8.
That'll do it.
Okay.
So as you hop onto, you just sort of flip up onto the tusk and you're expertly balancing. Your first strike, you manage to pierce its eye, and you get this little black ooze that just kind of comes from it, and this thing screams. And as it lifts its head up, you lose your balance to try and get a second attack, and you flip off of the tusk back into the spot where you started. And you have, go ahead and roll your damage for me on this. How much damage do you do with this attack?
1d6 plus 5. So 6 plus 5.
11?
11.
All right, with 11 points of damage. This is a good, solid hit. And this creature is, you can see it kind of closing one eye and sort of blink. It's not completely blind in that eye, but it's definitely seen like 2 nims right now. It's got a little double vision
Did you leave
going
anything
on.
on my staff?
No, your staff came off pretty clean.
Okay.
You're good.
Ew.
Ew.
Belly. Ew.
All right, Grim, you are up next. Yassin, you'll be on deck.
Okay, with my shadow wreathed hand, I siphon life force from it and heal my wounds. Vampiric touch.
Ooh, vampiric
Ooh.
touch. All right.
Ooh.
All right. This.
She just reaches up with her metal hand.
Yep. All right. So, with your metal hand, interesting. That might give you an advantage. So, how does vampiric touch work? Let's see. Is that a spell? Cantrip. Where's your vampiric touch? Oh, I see it. Ha. Let's see. How's vampiric touch? The touch of your shadow can second life force. Is there a hit?
That's what I couldn't find.
It doesn't look like it. So when you
It's
cast this
just
spell,
an immediate thing.
the damage increases by 1d6 for each level of the third slot.
I don't know because
Okay,
it
so here's what you're gonna do.
plus
No,
A.
this is easy peasy. So you are rolling this as a level 4 spell because it's powerful as shit. So you're going to do 4d6s. Roll 4d6s.
The square. Cube.
The cube. Roll the cube. And here's what's going to happen. Because you used your metal hand, this black ooze that's rolling off and onto you does no damage because it is not able to, it's not corrosive to the metal, only to organic flesh. And as you start to siphon, you are literally drawing this creature's life force out of it and into you. So go ahead and roll those 4d6, and that will determine how much life you gain back and how much you take away from this creature.
4, 4, 3,
So that's 8, 11.
9, 10, 11.
Okay, and
Yeah,
one more.
One more.
I think that's a 2. Wait. Yeah, it's a 2.
Okay,
Well, 13.
13.
13.
So you can add 13 to your life. That should bring you up to
Double.
26. And that 13 life comes directly out of this creature. And you hear it scream in agony. And the rest of you watch as almost this green energy leaves this boar, travels down Grimm's hand, and just covers over her chest. You watch her breathe in easier. Some of the wounds that are on her start to heal and stitch together. And Grimm is back in fighting form. She is ready
So
to
you wanna
kick
back
some
up?
ass.
Well, are you getting up?
Are you going to get up?
Do you want to use your movement to get up?
Yeah, like kind of while I'm doing that, I kind of like shove it in myself away from it.
Yep, you can do that. So you're going to go ahead and be up on your feet.
So they kind
and
of like,
go
you know,
right in front of the snoot.
Yeah.
right in front of the snoot.
Right in front of that snoot. All right, Yassin, you're next with the blight boar on deck.
Gotcha. So I'm having trouble seeing where.
Where
That-
is he on the map?
I think I'm on the boar's right. Yeah, that's me. Okay.
That's yeah.
Yeah, the board's right. What do I want to do? Well, many things.
Poke its other eye.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, I'm thinking that the boar is distracted in this moment because it just got vampire touched.
Oh,
Yeah. So maybe, let's see. I'm going to try to do my triple slash.
Okay, triple slash.
Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and break the AC. Let's see how many of these attacks hit.
All right. Wait, do I get a bonus with that?
Your sword should have some sort of a plus to hit. Yep.
you're on the wrong. That's
Oh,
your
I'm on
skills.
the wrong
Yeah,
thing.
you're on the wrong page.
Okay.
You gotta go to your sword.
Sword.
You sword.
Sword.
Go to your inventory.
Oh, okay.
Mhm. Which sword is it?
It is my scimitar.
Yep. So that is.
It's a +6 to hit.
There you go.
Whatever you
Oh,
roll,
okay.
6 to it.
So
Plus
3 plus 6. I rolled a 9.
Okay, and wow, 3 plus 6. That's such a low roll. I'm sorry, that one does not break. 2 more times. Let's see if you can break it.
Okay.
You got this.
Oh, okay. 18.
That breaks.
Okay. All right. 18 again.
That breaks. So go
Yeah.
ahead and roll damage for those 2 strikes that hit.
All right.
That's your D6
Oh, right.
plus 6. That's another D6.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry. So that's so I rolled 12 and 11.
12 and 11. Those are good hits.
23.
Oh, 23. Okay. And so as this creature is not having a good day right now. This night has not started off well. Its eye has been poked. It's blinded. As it was blinded, the life was sucked out of it. And as it raises itself up, you slash 1, 2, and you just dig deep into this creature. Blood starts to spill from new wounds. But as you come in for your 3rd strike, this creature gets a second wind and it lands and it turns towards you, Yassin, and its tusk comes in as your sword goes for that 3rd strike, and you just meet bone, and it looks pissed. Its eye is red and it is on you. And unfortunately, Yassin, you are going to be the target of its next attack.
Oh no.
All right, let's see. So this creature is going to go ahead and do a it's going to crush you.
Oh no.
We'll try. We have to be positive about this, guys. Come on. It's good.
So this is going to be a 6 plus 12 to hit. So that is 18. Does that break your AC?
Oh no, it doesn't.
Holy crap.
Just barely.
You
AC 19, bitches.
wow.
Would you get that AC though?
You
Damn,
are.
boy, you got a high AC.
Oh, shit. Okay, fine. So, damn, this was gonna hurt, but you are a tanky bitch. So here it comes. This creature, as it turns and it locks eyes with you as you're holding it, it moves to crush, and as it does so, it lifts its head up to bring down the other horn on you to kind of shift and crush you with its head, and instead you just expertly duck right underneath it and meet the other horn, and you hold your ground against this thing. And there is this grin that kind of comes across your face as the rain hits you. There's water. Your tattoos are starting to kind of glow a bit. You are in your element right now.
You're in the
And
avatar
this
state.
sword just snorts and steam comes off of it, but it cannot crush you.
Let's go,
Astrella,
stick.
you are next with the 3 boars that are behind you
Oh god.
on deck.
3 baby boars.
Run away.
Wait, I have the 3.
No, the boars
No,
aren't.
they're after you.
They're after me. Okay.
They're after you. They're kind of positioned themselves behind the group, so you are literally surrounded by the blight boar in front, and it's 3 minions behind you.
Okay. Jessica, can you point to me on the map because I'm blind? Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay. All right.
So you're right next to Grim,
Well,
and then there's me, and then there's Yassin. And
Grim, I was gonna get out of having to fight by being a fucking cleric and curing you, but you did it your damn self, and now I have to do something different.
My God, I needed some life.
And I don't have many fighting things, so I'm
Not
gonna
that
cast.
you couldn't use a bit more life. I'm just saying.
She could.
Uh,
She could. Do you have any more dope ass? Can I heal you more so you can do cool things?
Sure, I'm always good with that.
Great, because I don't. I'm not a fighter and I'm really scared.
Grim is at 26 out of 43 health, so she's at half life.
Oh
You
damn.
don't-
Okay. I'm doing cure wounds on Grim.
Alrighty.
Thanks.
How much are you healing her for?
1d8 plus my spellcasting ability modifier.
Yep.
So does she roll the d8 or do I roll the d8?
You roll the d8 and then you add your modifier and then you tell her how much she can add.
Sweet. Okay, that's a +0 to start. I'm sorry about that. But
You don't have any spell modifier?
no, it says spell attack +3.
There you go. There you
Okay.
go.
Okay.
I'm just illiterate.
Hey,
'Cause I-
moving up, every point counts.
I was homeschooled. Okay. You get 5 hit points.
All right. Plus five.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome, bestie.
As you sort of step to Grim's side, your hand starts to glow this warm golden color. And as you touch Grim on the shoulder, this area where maybe some burn had appeared on her from being under the board just heals up. And Grim, you gain those 5 hit points, and you are good to go. A little stronger, a little more savvy. These boars, however, they're being driven to frenzy by the blight boar. Every hit that you do, every cry that it makes, these little guys are ready to tear you apart. And so the 3 of them are each going to pick a target, and the targets are going to be Grim, Yassin, and Nim, the 3 who have actually done damage to the blight boar.
Being a cleric is the best.
And so I'm going to go ahead and roll to see if they break your AC. It's going to be freaking hard to break Yassin's AC, but I have hope.
Hey, I'm
I have hope. Okay, so that is going to be a 6 against Yassin. That's not going to work. Rolling against Grim. That is a natural 1. Ooh, that board is going to be funny. And then rolling against Nim.
Wait, what? I got a
No.
1 on what?
Nope.
No, not you didn't get a natural 1. The boar that's attacking you got a natural 1.
All right, none of these boars are able to do any damage. So Yassin, as one rushes towards you, your battle senses are on edge. And as it turns, you take your scimitar and just sort of shift your body, and you are able to block the boar behind you while still staying locked with the blight boar, and it's unable to attack. Nim, as the one rushes for you, you're able to sort of sidestep and just kind of boop and just knock it to the side a little bit and knock it off course. No damage given, but it doesn't hit. And then Grim, the one that runs for you, it trips on a rock that it just wasn't aware of. And in its zeal to try and gore you, it just sort of and just kind of falls on its side a little bit and twitches.
Oh,
It just feels embarrassed, but it comes nowhere near you. These 3 boars do nothing. Grim, Nim, you're on deck. You're next with Grim on deck.
Okay. Okay. Well, I want to do something a little crazy here.
Good.
Oh no.
Oh no, I know.
Not
Isn't that
crazy.
crazy? I want it to get its attention off most everybody else.
Okay.
Is there a wound on its head back area?
Well, there are plenty of wounds. Yeah, there's
Okay.
most of those would be like festering wounds that are up there. All the wounds done by you and your team are all
Right,
going
or
to
all
be
at level.
level with its flanks, its legs, its ribs. But you can see from where you are that there are definitely some sores that were natural to the creature that are up on its back.
Okay. I really want to do something crazy, so this is what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm going to first try to flip my bow back at the little baby boar that's behind me, so I can clock it in its chin a little bit, maybe disorient it.
Okay. So one attack from there. Cool.
And I want to use that momentum to kind of pick myself up on the other side of my bow, my bow staff.
Yep.
And lift myself onto the back of the boar,
Okay.
kind of in between,
Yeah, you want to nestle
up
in its hair. Yeah.
and then just into one of those swords that are on his back.
Whew. Okay. So we're gonna do a couple of things to make this happen. This is totally doable.
Let's do it.
Number 1, let's roll to break the AC on the small boar
Okay,
to see if you do damage there.
that's a natural 20.
All right, so you crit. You are going to crit on this board. That is
damn. You're going to kill this boar. In
roll
cold
damage. Roll damage.
They are the enemy, Emily.
I know, but it's little and I am sentimental for some
The
reason.
murder hobo has spoken.
That was not meant to happen.
That's
So
okay.
I can either do a 1d6 plus 5 or 1d8 plus 5, and I cannot figure out why.
No, just take the higher number for shits and giggles.
Okay, cool. DM rules. I'll
Yeah,
take
we'll
it.
figure out why later. But for now, let's take the higher one. This is just too cool.
That is a 2.
2
plus 5.
7 double
But
14.
Double is 14.
Yeah, so when you crit, it doubles your damage. So she rolls 7. Now she has 14 damage. Cool. I'll keep that in mind. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check to see if you can make it onto the top of this board with your momentum.
That is a 6 plus 8.
That is 14.
14, yes.
Yeah, they'll just do it. I'll allow that one. Okay, and then go ahead and roll to break the AC on the board.
Whew. Y'all, I'm on top of the board.
I'm on top of the board.
Oh, 19.
That breaks.
Plus.
That breaks. The 19 alone will break. Go ahead and roll your damage on that one.
Cool. Also an 8 plus 5. 5 plus 5. 10.
10. Okay, so here's what happens. Nim just totally centering herself for a moment. You get ready, you get zen, you are monk, like to the extreme. You can see the water just freeze in the air and come down. It's just
Oh my
big
god.
droplets. And as you do, you breathe in, and as you breathe out, you explode. Your staff hits the ground and kicks up. This boar that's rushing for you just gets clocked in the jaw so hard that it just flies back and dies as it hits the ground. A 14, you not have a ton of life, and you double your attack, so you just
Flies back.
kill this
Die.
thing. Boom. As you take your momentum from that, you flip up into the air, and as you land, you come down onto this sword that is just this big pustule, just and then you just pop it, and you manage to lodge your staff into this creature's back, and it rears up and just screams as you do 10 damage with this. Now, 2 things need to happen now. First, I need you to give me a strength saving throw,
I got you. I got you.
and then you are going to take some improvised damage from the acid.
Sure.
There's going to be 3 points of acid damage you're going to get from the spray back.
13.
13. That just barely allows you to hold on. You are just barely there. You're kind of one hand slips and you sort of reorient your feet. And as it comes down, boom, you are on this thing's back. And it is pissed. You are a tick back there
How much
digging
did I
into it.
take?
3 points of acid
Okay.
damage.
Just want to make sure I got that.
Yep. So you are up there. And
Woohoo!
you are in a very critical
I don't
spot
think my
on this
little
creature.
person can stay up there.
No,
but
it's okay.
I'm up there.
I will say this. I want you to leave the staff where it is. If you
Leave the staff.
I'm staying where it is right now, but like,
Grim, you're up. Nimi's
Okay.
on the back of this creature. Grim, you're next. Yassin, you're on deck.
Okay, so I'm like right next to it, right?
Yes, you
Yeah,
are
you're
right,
right
next
here.
to this creature.
right here.
Can I reach out and
You
touch
can move-
it first of
You
all?
can reach out and touch it if you want. Yeah, easy peasy.
How many casts do I get?
many
Depends.
what?
So your spell slots. If I look at
Cause
here. So if you look at your spells, if you click on spells,
I'm on it.
so you will see you at your 3rd level is the only place where you have spell slots available. To me, it looks like you've already used all of your 3rd level spells.
I
But
don't
You can
think-
do any 2nd or 1st or cantrip.
second, first, or cantrip.
Yep, you can use any of those. You still have those available because those come from either your pact with your with Alexander,
Yeah.
and so you can use those at will, or your cantrips don't have a slot. You can use those as much as you want as well.
Okay. So I can just use my level 2s without anything happening beforehand, right? Okay.
Yep, you got Hellish Rebuke and you have Darkness.
Okay. I'm gonna be able to change the service. Hellish flames and create through 2d10 fire damage.
Rebuke that.
Okay, if I'm gonna look at Nim,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna say jump off. because whatever I'm gonna do will probably affect you.
Okay. So in order for that to happen, you would have to hold your attack until it comes back to her turn, and then she can move.
You can
Son of
do
a
it. I
bitch.
can take it. It's fine.
That's
Don't worry
the
about it.
only way. It's possible you can do something like that, but she cannot move when it's not her turn.
I got you. Okay, well then I'm gonna go to a different action. Very sorry.
I can take it.
Give me a minute.
Go. Let's go.
What did you want to
Okay,
do?
so
What were you thinking?
My pick
Praise
or just
Yeah.
kind of me, right?
Yeah, he's kind of on the ground. He's trying to get himself back up. He's feeling a little dejected with the world, he's making some life choices right now.
Good. Is throwing your dagger, or I mean my hand axe,
You can do
a
that. It's an attack.
action, just one?
Yeah,
That's an attack.
it's an attack.
Okay. So I get one action, one attack?
Your attack is an action.
Okay.
So you can do something.
So you
And then
can
move.
You can move, and you can do a thing. You can either ready something, or if you're going to attack, that is your action. If you want to ready something and then attack with something you have at hand, you can do that. So, for instance, I want to pull something out of my bag and then attack with my other hand. That's where I would split it up for you. But if you're going to attack, that will be your action.
So would be like holding, like you said, until she could move, be one, and then attacking.
So you can only attack once, because mages tend to not be able to attack more than once.
You could just hold that till your next turn since you are right after me. You can do what you want to do this turn, whether that be attacking something or another, and then
Okay.
on your turn you can do the next thing.
Correct.
Sorry, it's been a minute. I can't remember the rules. So is there a particular spot on this beast that is deep, like where Yassin hit?
So yeah, Yassin there are two spots on this creature that you can tell are vulnerable. First is going to be Yassin's two cuts on its flank that you can see. That's bleeding pretty heavily, and you think it might do some extra damage if you hit there. And also the eye that Nim hit is looking pretty bad. It's starting to swell up now. It's red. It looks like it's very damaged, and that you might be able to completely blind it with an attack.
Ooh.
Since I'm right in front of its face, I'm going to take Thorn and I'm going to aim for its eye area
Okay.
with a
that damaged eye. Okay. Thorn. You. I see. I'm reading Thorn right now. Do you wish to do anything like a poison strike with it?
yes.
You're gonna activate your poison strike. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So you have 2 charges on that. Go ahead and roll to see if you can break the AC of this creature. So remember, you're going to roll and then add 5.
With a square?
with a d20. Yep.
With a D20?
Yep.
Yeah.
You're going to roll a d20 and then add 5 to that to see if
To
you
see.
actually hit the creature.
19.
That'll do it. That hits. So the creature looking at it has a con saving throw of 13 or higher. All right. Let's see if this creature gets poisoned. And it does. I rolled a 5. It failed the save. So this blight boar is going to be poisoned by this dagger. Go ahead and roll a d6. And that's going to be your square, your cube. Roll that and then add 3 to it. This is the damage of your weapon.
Okay. And add 3?
Yep.
5.
5. Okay, so as you throw out this dagger, this green tendril of energy leaves your fingertips and lodges itself deep into the blade. It glows green and it finds its mark into this creature's eye. It gives it 5 damage, but the poison seeps into the eye and it has to take an additional point. So that's 6 points of damage. but it is blinded. This creature cannot see out of its right eye. It is completely just a mess right now. Do you choose to recall your dagger back to you?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Yep. And so as you recall your dagger and summon it back to your side into your hand, an additional 3 points of damage. So it's half what you dealt when it comes back. That half damage just kind of, as it's kind of gooey slinks out of the creature. And so it has a total of 9 points of damage for this attack. And every time it's its turn, I have to roll to see how much the poison seeps into its system for additional damage.
Oh my god.
The blight boar is pissed off right now. Yassin, it is your turn with the boar on deck.
All right. So I think that now that the boar is totally blind, I would like to try to like disengage and go after that. Try to get the other little small boar that tried to go for me.
Killing babies.
All right. Sounds like a plan. You can go ahead and go for it. Roll to break its AC. How many attacks do you want to do against it?
I think just 2 this time.
You're
Not
nice to it. You'll be nice. You be
Sounds good.
gentle.
I want to put it through a blender. So
Now, just to let you know, you have enough movement that if you wanted to, you could turn, strike that one twice, and then turn back to the boar and strike it once. Your blade will allow you to do that, and your movement is more than plenty to make that. So it's your choice if you want to do that or not.
So
That's cool.
Twice for the baby.
Twice for the baby,
Oh,
one for the big.
Yeah, let's do that.
I just want to clarify. He never called them babies. They're just smaller than the giant one.
Okay, that is true. But in my
They're not
head,
wee little
they're small.
piglets.
so they're
Now they're normal.
no. In my
Normal.
head, they're piglets though. So that's just where I'm at with that.
Oh,
All right.
They're babies. They're small. Anything small is a
Give me
baby.
one of the boars. The one that you hit is dead.
Oh yes, this one.
Yeah, that one's
This
out.
is
Okay, go ahead and
mine died of embarrassment.
roll to break the AC of the regular boar, Yassin.
Baby.
So go ahead and give me 2 rolls on that. Don't forget to add your plus.
Plus. Oh, it's plus my sword, right?
Yeah. So
Okay,
six.
so I roll 15.
That'll do it. That's 1 break. And the second one?
That is 8.
8. That does not break. Okay, so this armor class is 11 on these 2. Go ahead and roll one of your damages. Let's see how much you can do to this thing.
Oh, right. I just love the D20.
Actually, we all love the D20, but we gotta learn the other ones. There's gonna be a pop quiz.
7, and then that's plus my sword. So 13.
13. That will actually do it. So how do you want to kill this thing?
Let's see.
Oh,
So
wow.
I'm thinking I'm locked in with the boar, and it's blind. So I'm thinking like I got the big boar, and so I'm just gonna like, and then like kind of push it back, and then spin, and I only get the 1 attack. So I think it's more, instead of like a swipe, it's going to be more like a stab.
Okay, you want to stab it through. Cool. All right, now. All right, so
I'm gonna
as you
tell
do
him, don't ruin the bacon.
that-
Good point.
push off, you spin your staff around. You kind of get a little cocky and spin 1 too many times and miss with your first attack. But on the second one, you stab and then you take your strength and lean through, and it just comes out the other side. And you hear this little pig just squeal as you skewer it, pull your blade back out. Go ahead and roll to see if you can break the AC on the boar, on the blight boar.
Like, oh, yes. Yeah, no, that's going to be an 8.
Oh, I'm so sorry. So as you turn back to try and strike the blight boar, you find it to be right in your face. Like you don't even get off an attack. You just turn and it is there right in front of you. And as it snorts, you can smell its breath. You can smell the decay. It is just putrid. And this thing goes to attack you twice. It is going to use its multi-attack, which is a 2-hoofed attack. And he's going to try and kip up and just hit you twice. Let's see if I can break your stupidly high AC.
Don't let him
Come on.
have any like super crazy armor or anything. 'cause that's
He'll never get
awesome.
armor ever in this game. He'll find nothing but clothes. Okay, so that is going to be a 14, but it has a +6 to hit, so that's going to be a 20, dirty 20. That breaks your AC, Yassin.
Yeah.
Next one's an 8. Fuck. Okay, so it hits you once. So as it comes up, its first hook kind of dings off your sword. You manage to sort of deflect it. But the second one, that was just a feint. It opens you up, and the second one clocks you right in the jaw, just kind of boom, send your head back up. And so it is going to give you, where's its damage on this attack? Aha. D8 +5. Where's the damage? Here we go. That's going to be a 4 +5, so that's a 9. 9 damage on you, Yassin, as it kind of clocks you, and you feel your chin split a little bit, and a little bit of blood is starting to come from that wound. And I imagine that as you kind of settle back down, you're still grinning. Something about you is enjoying this fight, and the board just gets more pissed by that. And as such, it does its lair action. It only has, just so you all are, in case you're counting, it can do 3 lair actions anytime it wants. It did 1 to summon the initial 3 boars, so it's doing a second one to summon 3 more boars to come out onto the field. You've killed 2 of them, which is great. You have killed 2.
Well,
So that's something. That is something. So 3 more are going to come out of the woods. No surprise that 2 of them are going to be behind Yassin. I just kind of wonder why. And then another one is going to be appearing near where Grim is at, and we'll kind of be backing up. A little fugly boar that couldn't hit her and tripped on a rock. His friend kind of comes out and pats him on the shoulder. He's like, "I got you. Don't worry."
You can do this.
And that will end the boar's turn. Estrella, you are next.
How much poison damage did it get from all that movement?
Oh, you're right. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey,
Damn.
Berk's coming in with the poison.
Well done. That is going to be 5 points of poison damage on the boar.
Every bit counts, man.
So
We're
as
getting
you
it.
all are looking at this, and Estrella, as it's your turn coming up with the additional boars on deck acting as a unit when they fight, you all can see that it's breathing heavy. It's starting to kind of wheeze a bit. It's looking rough. It's not down. It's got some fight left in it, but you can see the light at the end of the tunnel. You guys are wearing it down.
Hell yeah. All right.
I'm on you, Dad.
Estrella, what would you like to do with your turn?
Okay. Astrella has been inspired by these lovely ladies. You can tell from this fight at this point, Astrella has never been in a fight before, so she's getting up her courage. She's going to use her spiritual weapon.
Woo! Woo!
So the spiritual weapon, first and foremost, looks like a lightsaber.
Ooh.
It is purple. I just need that to be clear. Anytime I use it, it is going to be a lightsaber.
All right.
All right. So, okay, hold on. I'm reading. Okay, so I roll to break the AC with the spiritual weapon?
Yes, you do.
Okay. I know things. I learned things. I read up on this. Okay, and that's. Damn it! Fuck. Okay.
That sounded so
Are
good.
you attacking the side of it that's hurt? The
Oh.
blind eye.
I'm sorry. No, I'm going after its good eye. I want to fully blind this motherfucker.
Wait, I thought it was blind.
Okay. All
One
right.
eye. One eye.
Oh.
I'm going after the other eye with the lightsaber.
Okay.
Old lefty still works.
Old lefty still works.
Okay.
Okay.
Right,
But
right.
unfortunately, that's a 5 because the universe is just solidifying that it doesn't like
You
me.
have no
no
plus
plus?
to hit?
Oh, that was with the plus to hit, Chris.
Holy crap. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and just allow
You're
you
so
to
pretty, Astrella.
roll with advantage. Go ahead and roll again. Roll a second time. You get advantage on this just because you chose your spiritual weapon to look like a lightsaber. So
Oh
roll
yay!
again.
Okay, DM brownie points. Here we go. Please do something better. Your expensive fucking dice. You cost me so much money. You're metal. Hot damn, that's a dirty 20.
That'll do it. That'll
Thank-
break. So go ahead and give me damage on this weapon. Roll
Okay.
your damage.
Okay, so damage on this is a D8 plus. Okay. It's fine. Sweating because I'm nervous. That's 9. That's 9 points of
That's
damage.
an excellent hit. All right, so here's what happened.
We're playing
Everybody around you is just throwing off all of this power and hits, and you're watching these other boars come out of the woods, and you hear these screams, and time slows for you. And in this moment, you say this small prayer, and a light comes from the heavens. And as you raise your hand up and pull it back down, the light forms into this purple lightsaber looking divine weapon. In your hand, you hold purple energy, and it pulsates and moves. And as you reach forward and just stab into this creature's eye and twist the blade, you watch the eye as it goes from being this red look to just pops under the intensity of this attack. And as you pull your weapon back, this creature roars, and it is entirely blind. Both eyes are nothing but gaping holes of blood and pus. And you have successfully blinded the blight boar. This means that every time it attacks, it has to do so with disadvantage, and each of you will be given a chance to dodge. That is what I'm going to allow for the blinding of this creature. It is hurting, but the tiny boars are up next, and they are angry. And Astrella, they're all looking at you.
It's okay. At least we know you're more than just pretty.
There are 4 of these things on deck. All 4 of them are going to come after you.
Yep,
Oh,
I
no.
figured that.
So here we go. We're going to try and break your AC. Let's play the game of break Estrella's AC.
Okay, what's my AC? Okay,
roll
all right,
one.
okay, go for it.
Rolling one's a 10. Does a 10 break?
No.
You lucky.
1.
9, that won't break. That's
Nope.
2 boars at you. 2, that definitely won't break. All right, last one. Does the last one get anything? How about 12?
Nope.
Damn.
Yes.
I got armor on, bitches.
I built
Well,
you
yeah,
up
how does
good.
that work?
I'm a little fleshy lady. I had to put armor on.
The armor automatically adds to your AC. Now, if you activate like your shadow armor, Melissa, or something like that, your dark armor, it gives you a plus to it. And so you just kind of keep that in your head. My natural AC is a 13, but my spirit armor is a +2, so I'm a 14 or 15. Yeah. Anyway, none of these creatures can hit Astrella. Damn it.
I'm just dodging. I'm
And
bobbing
they
and weaving.
all rush at you, and they're kind of like stampeding, and they're making these arcs to try and hit you. What everybody else watches, the other 3, as they watch you, this spiritual energy kind of leaves as a weapon and flows over your body. And all of a sudden, you just start to almost flash step. You just, from one side to the other, you are just dodging as if this is nothing to you. The divine spirit who watches over you has imbued you for this moment with perfect clarity. And you are dodging as all of these come at you, and they make this wide arc and come back around to their original positions, and not one has touched you. We are back to the
You
top
look like
of
full-on Bleach characters flying all over.
Oh, yeah.
So we're back to the top of the round with Nim going next and Grim on deck. And remember, Grim has told you, Nim, to get out of dodge, to jump out of the way, but leave your staff.
Estrella's pumped up. She just yells, "Fuck him up, Nim."
Okay. What I want to do You can rule this DM
Hmm.
however you want.
Let's
What
hear
I
it.
want to do is okay. I want to acknowledge them. It's Nim. She's got a big thumbs up.
Big thumbs up.
Got it. She wants to flip up
Yep.
and land somewhat on top of her staff.
Yep.
To push it down a little
I
further.
had a feeling you do that. Yep.
And then after that, she wants to flip up off of the board back onto the ground in front.
Would you like to do two?
Quick question.
Yep.
Nim,
Oh, sure. Pop, pop.
Pop, pop.
Yeah.
Yes, quick question from Grim. What's up?
Nim, what
Yeah.
is it made out of?
I have it's wood and metal.
Okay, good.
I am so fucking intrigued.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and allow the acrobatics on this. Your character should easily be able to flip and land on this point. You're not really going anywhere fancy. So let's go ahead and roll to break AC.
Okay.
You are still technically using your weapon, so add your weapons plus to these 2 hits.
Ooh. 12 plus 8.
That'll break.
Okay. And one more, right?
Yep.
That is a 15 plus 8.
That'll definitely break. So
Oh,
those two,
shit.
go
Love you
ahead,
today. You are so nice to me. I
go
love
ahead and
you
roll
guys.
damage for those 2, please.
Yeah. 3 plus 5 plus 5, 10, 16, 19.
Shit. Okay. I mean, wow, that's so good. 19.
19. Pop, pop.
All right, so okay, so here's how this plays out. You flip up into the air and you land 1, 2, and everybody's watching. You sort of hit these stereotypical monk poses. You're just, wah, ooh, you're just really showing it off. But each time you hit, this staff digs deeper and deeper into the creature. You hit bone. You can feel your staff come down, and it has hit the spinal column. Like you were just through
Oh my
that,
god, ew.
and you just feel it. And if you look down for a split second before you flip off, you look down, you can see the bone because the flesh is just necrotic and ripping away as you do this. And you flip off.
I
As
flip
you
off and land and go Grim.
flip off, though, before you get that
I'm
go
so
grim
sorry.
moment,
I'm so sorry.
I want you to give me a Constitution saving throw because
Oh no.
a geyser, like you've hit
Hit
a pocket. And it's a big geyser coming up at you. So let's see.
Okay. What is this? 5? What was it?
All you gotta do is break an 8. Constitution saving throw.
Plus 4, 9.
You just barely
Oh.
do it. On your heels, literally, is this blood and acid that just kind of rises up for you. But you just flip right off, land expertly on the ground, and give a thumbs up. Go, Nim! And Nim, it is your turn with Yassin on deck.
Okay, so I'm going to aim my Eldritch Blast, which is crackling energy at the staff to go down into the boar.
Ooh, I like this. Do you wish to twin your spell? Do you want to cast
I very much do.
2 Eldritch Blasts? All right, so go ahead and let's break this sucker's AC. So with an Eldritch Blast here, let me think. You get a +8 to break. So you're gonna roll your D20 twice, add 8 points. Tell me your numbers.
A D20 twice?
Yeah, so go ahead and roll a D20 and then add 8. This is your first attack.
20.
You got it.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Okay, I'm like, damn, if you crit right now, damn, please don't. Okay, so that breaks. Roll your second Eldritch Blast.
21.
That'll do it as well. So both of these hit. All right, so give me damage. You have it's a D10 is your damage. Roll that twice.
Ooh.
Yeah,
10 is the
it's
yeah.
a
It's,
pyramid.
Oh,
the
pyramid.
well, no, it's the. There looks like there's 2 of them, but it's the one without the the double numbers.
Yeah,
This
just
one.
got a 0.
Yes.
Roll that one twice. Tell me your numbers, and then I'm gonna do a little roll myself here.
9
Shit. Okay, that's a 9. Holy shit.
and a 5.
Ooh, 14.
What did you roll?
What I rolled was an improvised damage on the side. This is the effect that you have on the spinal column. I rolled a straight D20 for this just for shits and giggles. I got an 18.
Oh,
Damn.
You deal 14 damage plus 18. Here's what happens. You reach out both of your hands. Again, this green energy crackles and swirls. And the minute that Nim is on the ground, your hands just shoot forward. And everybody can feel, it's like a shock wave. The rain just kind of just moves away from you at this hot, searing energy. And both shots, 1, 2, right on the staff. You watch as it goes down into the creature's neck and it hits that spinal column bone. And you can see inside of its neck this green energy that just throbs and pulses down in there for 19 damage. So hang on, I need to see where this thing is at. Oh fuck. One side of its neck just explodes. The side not near anybody, just you just watch as your green energy just kind of lances out through that direction, and the creature drops down to one knee on its hooves. Just you watch it collapse on that side, and it just and it's just gets up, and it just holds itself in position. It is hurting. It is on its last legs. There is not much life in it. That hit hurt. Yassin, you are next with the boar on deck.
Oh, I am finishing the boar. Oh, I'm going for the triple slash.
We'll see. We'll see.
I really hope. Okay. So that's 3 hits I'm going for.
Like shit, I'm sweating here. All right, just saying. Like, man.
Nat 20.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay,
we love you, sweetie.
That's
We love
one
you so
crit.
much.
One crit. What else you got? Go and give me your other 2. Shit. Fuck it up. Go, let's go. Let's go.
That's going to be an 8 and another.
Oh my god! That's pretty What the fuck?
Oh.
How? Okay.
Don't
One
even
question.
worry about rolling damage. Don't even worry about it. How do you want to do this?
Oh my god!
I can't.
Make it good. Make it good.
Oh,
Make it good. Make it dramatic.
make it dramatic.
Be
Oh,
dramatic.
God. I'm. Dang. Okay, so I'm just gonna say this, and like Chris will let me know if it's like a thing that can happen. So I'm thinking Yassin is just like, it's time, and like sprints. He goes for it, and I'm gonna make it dramatic as fuck.
You have
I'm gonna have my thing in my hands, but I want Yassin to try to jump and like, or no, actually, you know what? I'm gonna change that. No, because that would involve some shit.
Come on, man. Kill it. Just kill the thing. Tell me how you're gonna kill it.
Yeah, just kill the thing. I want Yassin to sprint at it and just like kind of go for like and then like follow it through with like a spin to get the other side, and then like
Down the middle.
yeah, like neck.
You're gonna
Right
split
away.
this mofo in half. Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
So here's what you're gonna do, man. I like
Okay.
it. So as this hole explodes in the side of the creature, this eldritch blast energy just rips it apart. You are on Grimm's heels. As soon as her attack lashes out, you are running right behind it. You see these 2 hits. You watch the explosion. And as it does, you are sliding underneath the creature and just slicing from the tip of its jaw to that opening that Grimm did. Boom, you slice. As you come out from underneath it, your blade kips up. Boom, and you open up this hole into a gaping gash. Its head just lops to one side, barely hanging on by some sinews and muscle. Grimm has exploded the spinal column. You have ripped apart every connecting tissue. And this giant boar falls onto its side. Boom, dead.
Yeah.
Killed the Blight Boar.
Hallelujah.
Well done.
Yeah, guys. We
I
just
want
killed
you
that
to
thing.
know that you successfully got through a 250 HP creature.
200.
Critten's attack brought it to 241. Like it was down to, it had 9 points of life left. Yassin ripped it apart. The four of you fully.
What was it before
Overkill.
I hit it?
What's that?
What was it before I hit it?
It had 9 points left before you hit it. You dealt 18 plus 14, so you dealt 32 points of damage. You took it from like 210 to like 241 in one attack.
Damn.
That's some nasty hits. Yassin could have sneezed on that bitch and it would have fallen down. But Yassin ended it like a badass with 2 crits.
I would like.
I kind of
Also-
wish. I mean,
I'm-
not that it wasn't epic, but the sneeze.
the personal offense I feel because he 2 natural 20s with the shitty $5 dice I bought, and I can't roll higher than a fucking 2 with my $50 metal dice. I'm mad. I want my money back.
So I'm not even gonna lie. I always play with 2 pairs, and I always roll like the D20s beforehand. Whoever's shitty does not get to play. They just
Yes,
don't.
I'm a dice roll.
These ones seem to be my lucky.
The
Those are
spike
nice.
ones, of course.
Nice, naturally. So as this creature hits the ground, the spell that these other natural boars were under, this kind of call, it completely dissipates with the death of the creature, and they look.
They're like, guys, what's
You
happening?
notice that sort of
Wrap the ball.
natural animal instinct to flee in the presence of people overtakes these creatures, and they just split and run.
Nim's gonna make noises after them, like, yeah, get out of here, go.
One of them turns and kind of
No.
lifts up a hoof, like, they all run away. They all squeal like little pigs.
I'm gonna give you back your piggies.
Yes, and the encounter is done. You have successfully killed the Blight Boar. The rain, you notice almost as if in response to your presence and the death of this creature, the rain starts to subside and lessen. The thunder kind of rolls off into the distance and everything calms itself. And just a normal night takes over. Give me a hot second to make it a normal night. As you do, as night kind of covers the land, people have listened. They know what happened. They saw it peeking out their windows, looking from the tavern. Those who had kind of housed themselves in the magistrate's building, they all see what happens. And they come out one at a time. You see them sort of peek out and rush, and you hear people whisper, is it really going? Is it? And somebody else is going, holy fuck, they killed it! People just start to rush you, and you can hear cheers from the crowd. People are patting your backs. There's some of you are getting just hugs. Grim, the girl, the teenager now, who is your friend from the fountain, she just wraps both of her arms around you and she just holds you tight, and you hear her whisper, thank you so much. And she just holds you, like she's not letting go.
Meantime, Nim's trying to like pull her staff out of this thing. She's like, yeah, that was us. We totally did that. Yeah.
Eventually you were able to dislodge your staff from its just putrid flesh, and you kind of wiggle it around a bit.
Is it a little scorched?
It's got some scorch marks on it, a
Character.
It's fine. It's fine.
little,
It's totally fine.
little acid damage. You see 2 other very noticeable figures step up that you have met before, and the crowd sort of parts for them. And it's the elf Strength, who you had met 10 years ago as one of the 3 leaders of Phandalin, one of the kind of the council. And with Strength behind him, you see this old man, his white hair, big white long mustache, handlebar mustache coming up, and he's You see he's got his gun belt strapped around him. He's got his hat on, and he's wearing like pajamas. And and this is Sildar. Sildar is rushing out. You hear Sildar going, well, damn, 4 of you just you just killed that son of a bitch, didn't you? Whew. I was rallying some of the guards people and stuff. We're ready to help. We were gonna jump in, but hot damn, thank you all so I have not seen heroics like that since since I've journeyed with like Zeroku and Orshella and Sierra. That was, you don't know who they are. Anyway, damn, I might need to make some room on that fountain for some more statues. But you see Strength. He's very prim, very well dressed, as if the man never goes to bed. And being an elf, he doesn't need to sleep much anyway. But he comes out and he steps forward and he goes, Phandalin is in your debt. Whatever we can do, whatever you require, it is yours. You have but to ask.
I'm gonna put my arm around him.
He kind of like, you feel him like breathe in, like he doesn't like to be touched, but he's trying really hard not to be rude. So he just sort of looks at you and kind of cocks one eyebrow. Yes.
What would really be great is a drink.
Credits.
He looks at you. He smiles a bit, just the corner of his mouth, and he goes, I have a special reserve in the tavern. It is yours.
She doesn't do that. She doesn't do that, but inside she does that.
We all know she's a fangirl inside. It's fine.
Strength turns to look at the 3 of you, and he goes, is there anything that our town can do for you?
I look over at Astrella and Yassin, and I'm like, well, I don't know about you guys, but I need a bath. A pretty good one. Yeah.
You need a bath.
Oh, bad. Yeah.
Information.
He looks at you and he goes, and he looks at your ears, and he looks at your bearing, and looking at him, he's a high elf, just like you are.
8.
And high elves throughout all of this realm are snooty as anything. He looks at you and he just raises an
Except this
eyebrow
one.
and he grows, what is your upbringing?
Oh, it's a lot of in there, a little bit everywhere, but mostly monks, very quiet people, very solemn. But honestly, they gave me the hoity-toity name. I come from a hoity-toity place, but I
Yes.
really don't like it.
Yes,
that much. It's
thank you.
fine. I was
okay,
actually
you
on the
could-
streets for most of my life.
A bath is waiting for you in the tavern. A free night is the least we can do.
Can Crumbs get his own bath?
Which one of you is Crumbs?
Oh no, none of these guys. I mean, they should get baths too. I'm sure we all kind of. This is Crumbs.
And he just looks at your rat and he goes, hi. Yes.
This is a nice guy right over here.
He looks at Yassin and Astrella. A night's stay for the whole party. Free baths, food, drink. Is there anything else that the 2 of you may require? Not armor, by the way. You're not getting armor, Yassin.
Not for armor. You'd be invincible.
I think. Is there anything we need?
My brain is.
I would like. I'm so sorry.
Hmm.
While they're doing stuff, I'm gonna kind of like whoop and go away. I'm going to actually grab a tuft of like the fur, the hair that's on this thing, and I just kind of want to take my dagger and off a bit, and I want to wrap some twine around it and kind of make it like a little thing.
Yeah, you can do that. Easy peasy. So you have successfully grabbed a tuft of light boar fur.
Cool. No little pieces of like tusk or anything around.
There, if you want, you can try and chip off a piece of
I
tusk
just
or
want to do.
a little piece. Just go ahead and roll a strength
Okay.
check for me.
I mean, it was pretty decrepit,
Yeah, you can get something easily.
Oh, that was a 20.
Yeah. So how big a piece you want?
I want the end of one of its horns, like about this big.
Yeah, easy peasy. So out of it's got like almost a double tusk going on, the big main tusk and these little two smaller tusks that come out from it. And you easily you see one that almost has like a broken tooth sort of look to it, some darkness in the root. And so you just sort of tap at that a couple of times. It just falls right off. It's about the size of your hand from finger to wrist.
Cool.
And you have that as just a piece of tusk from the whiteboard.
Cool.
Amazing. It's that TikTok. Jump glass.
Do the
Right.
two of you require anything? And again, Strength is looking at Yassin and Astrella. He wants to offer you a gift, but you can tell, being the high elf that he is, he also just wants to leave.
Yassin is, or I am going to ask him for monetary compensation. any value, any
Are you
value.
sure we're not related?
What?
Strength looks at you and he goes, "A fair request." And he turns to Sildar and he goes, "I believe we have a discretionary fund that we can use for such things." And Sildar goes, "Absolutely. I believe we have about 100 gold in that discretionary fund we use for bounties and such. Would that be to your liking, sir, Mr. Yassin?"
Absolutely.
And so Sildar is going to run off and he goes into the magistrate's building. It took him about a couple of minutes and he comes back with a small little satchel that has tinkles, and you can hear there's 100 gold pieces inside, which you can now add to your pot, making you about as rich as Grim now, you two bastards. There you go. Astrella, is there anything that you would like to ask Strength for?
Could she ask for more information about the horn so we can wrap this shit up?
You absolutely can.
No, like in not so many words.
Right, yeah. But you're asking him, does he know about this? Strength raises an eyebrow and he goes, "Interesting. Give me the night to do some research. I will come back in the morning. I will meet you within the tavern after you've had a nice rest, a meal, and I will see what I can find."
And a bath.
And a bar. And Strength just sort of shakes his head and walks away. You can hear him mutter, though, going, "No, no born elves, I can't even." And he just kind of mutters and walks away.
I turn and show Astrella my little things. I got like a whole handful of hair and a big old tusk thing in my hand.
Oh, neat. Estrella's just gonna full on. We're gonna get excited about these
Yeah.
things.
We got the thing.
Look at the thing.
You hear Sildar, he kind of looks, "All right, people, all right, I know it's exciting," but he looks at the board. "We've got one hell of a mess to clean in the morning, so y'all better go get just a good night's rest so we can deal with that rotten ass carcass, all right? Go on, go."
That's some good bacon, man.
He looks at you and he goes, don't eat it. Just don't.
That bacon done spolt.
But I killed another one over there. That one should be fine.
That
Sildar
was
looks at you and he goes, "Oh, that's a good point right
There's two
there."
over there, actually.
he
We're having pig tonight.
out there you see Dareth. Dareth is sort of trying to walk away. You guys just catch the dwarf that you've met in the tavern. And he goes, Dareth, wait, come here. Can you grab those two and bring them back into the tavern? We could probably get some good bacon out of that. And he kind of looks at you and he winks and he goes, "You can have some if you want, much as you can carry." And you see kind of Dareth go, "Huh, okay." And then he looks at at your party and he goes, I can't believe you guys, you really did it. That is amazing. I want you to know that I was ready with Sildar and some of the others from the town, and we were coming. We weren't going to leave you alone. but I'm just so impressed. I don't think I could ever be an adventurer like the four of you. That's absolutely incredible. And you see him just kind of look up at you with these big starry eyes, like you are just superstars, and he is completely smitten with the four of you. And he goes, I just want to, can I shake your hands? Can I just want to shake your hands? He's gonna hold his hand out. Oh, you just want.
Astrella's gonna join in and make it a group hug.
Oh,
I'm not.
Grim's not.
Am I close enough to
What?
grab and pull?
Like, yeah, like
No.
just hold her shirt.
Grim, you're not gonna hug, right?
I'm going to be smacked to whatever Astrella just smacked me to, but I'm gonna be like this.
So you're all, and Dareth is just like, oh, and you just sort of feel him melt, and you all kind of feel a little pat from him as he tries to like grab the whole group, but he's a dwarf. He can only reach so far.
This dwarf is chest height with three ladies. This is the best hug ever.
He's sort of sinking into Nim right now because she was the first one, and he's just like, ah.
And I'm gonna look down and be like, enjoying yourself.
I'm sorry. Yeah. And he kind of pulls away really quick, a little bit embarrassed. And he's just got these big rosy cheeks now, and he's totally flushed red. And he goes,
I'm gonna ask this question real quick.
Sure.
Can I have like Crumbs still like on him, like snuggling him?
if you want, yeah, you could.
Crumbs is still on his shoulder, snuggling him.
And Derek kind of feels this sort of little warmth, and he looks and goes, "Oh, hi there. Hey, Crumbs, right?"
Yeah.
Oh, you're hang on a second. And he kind of reaches into his pocket, and he's got like a little like crumb of bread, and he goes, "Here you go."
A
A
crumb.
crumb for a crumb.
The fact that we all thought the same.
We just shared the same brain cell for a
I
second.
know the one
The
left out.
one that bounces between the party.
So he Crumbs, grabs it and eats it, and he goes, "Go on back now, go on." And you just watch this totally comfortable rat go across his arm back to you, Nim. And Crumbs, being a very good judge of character, has no issues with Dareth at all. Totally trusts him. And Dareth looks at the four and he goes, "I'm just glad to have met you. Thank you so much. Also, whatever you did," and he looks at you, Nim. "What you did to Kirin, he's gone. He just completely left town."
Well, I thought he had another show to put on.
He never showed up. I mean, when the Blight Boar was a problem, but instead of going out to play like he normally does for the boar, he never showed. And the four of you, well, you solved the problem. I don't know if he was responsible for it or not, but now it doesn't even matter. The four of you have done it. So thank you. I need to get these pigs back and kind of seasoned and salted before they spoil. So
Can I help him carry one?
you absolutely can.
I have a question for him.
Yeah.
Does he know what direction he went in?
Dareth looks at you and he goes, "He never came out the front. He never came out for a performance. The only way out of the tavern is through the back door, and there's a wooded area not far from there. Given the way it was raining, I'm sure we could see tracks of some sort. I never saw him leave, but that's my best guess."
I think we'll have to deal with him later. But he might be better off gone. Anyway, I got this. Don't worry. Don't worry, strong man. I got this. You can stand right there. I'm gonna just
Go ahead and give me a strength check.
I want a strength check too to help, I guess.
Are you gonna help? Okay.
For one.
bacon.
I get it.
That
I
was
get
a
it.
7.
Bacon.
Seven.
He
What'd
said
you
if you help, you can have food. Okay, what?
Uh-huh.
D20?
D20, yep. And if you have anything to your strength to add to it, you can add that.
Usually that's up at the top. So
Under the what?
it's at the top.
Strength.
Is
You're
it
just looking
strength?
for your strength modifier.
Damn. Why Grim's so weak?
Girl, I feel you.
I had a 9. It says -3.
Oof.
Ooh, you still got
Well, between the two of you, you're definitely able to pick this thing up. It's
one
a
up.
it's a little more effort than the two of you would like to admit.
You grab a hoof, I grab a hoof, we drag this some bitch.
You just drag it up. But the two of you have also had a long fight, and some of the wounds and stuff, you feel it. You're starting to feel the aster as everything just kind of relaxes. Your adrenaline fades, and you're sore. You're hurting. All of you have taken some sort of damage, so a long rest and a good bath will heal everything up. You see Dareth, he just goes to the one boar, and being a dwarf and just a naturally strong species, he kind of hefts it up onto his shoulders a bit, and he goes, well, all right, follow me. We'll go around back to that secret door that I was telling you about. It's not so secret, but the back door. It's a good place for us to sort of store these for the night, and maybe we can look for tracks while we're there.
I'm gonna look at Grim and be like, he just made this look like it was nothing. Like, you feel this, right? It's heavy, right?
We killed the big one. It's all good.
Yeah,
You're right. You're right.
Plus,
Well, I'm so sore. Right
plus
now.
I'm a dwarf.
Oh.
I mean, come
You
on.
are made of muscle, right? Like you just are
I don't know,
muscle.
but
Right.
before I went to the Bard's College, I mean, we mines. I'm just lifting rocks all
You'll
day.
lift. Oh yeah, I see.
Yeah, it's great. That big guy, he knows what I'm talking about. He points at you, Yassin, and he goes, "All right, well, follow me. You're all welcome to come on back." And you all choose to follow Dareth to the back.
Yes.
Cool. So as you do, you walk through town. What you notice as you're walking back through town is that some of the blight, the ooze, the blackness that's been on the ground, it's almost starting to dry up a little bit, especially as the rain has stopped and everything. You notice that it's receding a little bit. It could take days or weeks, but you're noticing that you've had an immediate impact on these people's lives. Something about this creature was magically keeping the blight alive, and now that it's dead, it's losing all of its power and strength. You make it to the back of the tavern, and Dareth's just kind of keeping it hoist on one arm. You see him reach into his pocket for his keys, and he unlocks the door, little jingle jangle, opens the door up, and just kind of goes, if you want to just put it over on the shelf there on the right, I'd appreciate it, ladies. Thank you so much. And you watch him kind of, boom, and he just drops it there, easy peasy.
Well, I tried. I don't know. Grim's just like, eh.
Oh,
Just-
probably just was like, throw it over.
And you see Dareth talk to another one of the tavern keeps in the back, and he goes, just make sure just to kind of throw some salt on it a little bit and then cover it. It should hold for the night, and then we'll take care of it in the morning. Cut up into some bacon, some ham strips. Sound good? The other guy's like, no problem, no problem. But Dareth comes to the four of you, and he goes, look, if you're really interested about Kirin, this is the only other way he could have escaped without being noticed. If there's tracks, they'd be out there. If you want to look around, you can. I'm going to go upstairs. I'll get the bathroom ready for you. I'll have 4 baths. He looks around. You each want 4 baths, right?
Yes.
Little
Okay.
one. Little one for crumbs.
Oh, yeah, no problem. I can look that up. So there'll be separate rooms for all of you up there, and you have the last 4 rooms, and there are the nicest ones. They each have their own individual baths in them. Very, very expensive, but of course, strength says that you are all going to be taken care of, and I absolutely agree. So let me get that going for you, and just feel free to kind of grab whatever you want. And then he looks at you, Grim, and he goes, Strength's private reserve. He hands you a key, and he goes, that's going to be, if you go to the bar, you're going to go back on the bottom left. It's a cabinet on the farthest left. You can go at the very bottom. You're going to see a tiny little locked door on it. Just kind of that key will open it up. He didn't say how much you could or couldn't have, so have fun. It's strong stuff. This is high elf brew. Like it'll put hair on a dwarf's chest. You know what I'm saying? But you have at it. You have fun. Take as much as you want. I don't care.
Yassin snatches it and runs.
Okay, hold the fuck up. Okay, so I'm going to summon darkness and thunder, and my eyes are gonna change black. And as I do that, I'm going to make my voice loud and say, "Move another step, and I'll kill you myself."
And Derek just like freezes in his tracks. He goes, "Holy shit!" And this the whole room fills with magical darkness, and it's very similar, Yassin, to what you saw when you had those band of highwaymen, the robbers, and you just watch this darkness in Grim come up. Are you going to take another step, or are you going to hand her back her key?
I just kind of like I'm facing away, but I just
Yeah.
Nice. Derek's like, okay then. Gonna make a mental note. And he looks at you, Grim, and then he just sort of walks away. And you can hear him go pum, 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 as he heads upstairs to prepare your baths. Is there anything that you all want to do in the tavern? It is officially closed, so you have run of the place. You can see that there is some stores of food, cheeses, breads, some meats and things like that. Obviously, Grim has the key to Strength's private reserve of high elf liquors. So you are free to eat whatever you want and do whatever you want until your baths are ready.
I'm going to like nonchalantly like walk through Grim's darkness like until I get out to the tavern, and then I'm gonna kind of like I'm gonna hop onto the counter just to sit. I'm not gonna jump up on it.
Okay.
And grab a bottle of whatever is nearby. I don't want anything strong or anything. I'm like, I think we've earned ourselves a celebration to us. We might not have found a horn yet, but we did save the town. So.
And what you grab right under the counter is just a few bottles of mead, which is basically just a honey ale. It's very light. It would take like a whole crap ton to get intoxicated, but it is very sweet, and you just, as you drink it, you can feel it sort of warm you a bit and just relax. Just a nice feeling of relaxation comes over you. Grim, I see you would like to do something.
I'm going to open the cabinet, and what do I see?
So what you see inside are 3 bottles of a shimmering green color. The bottles themselves very pretty, very ornate. When you look at where the cork would normally be on your typical wine bottles, instead there is this almost jewel encrusted top that leads into and stops up the bottle, and each one has a gold seal around it, and within the gold seal you see this a wax impression on there with some kind of an elven glyph on it. You recognize it as elven, but you don't, off the top of your head, you're not exactly sure what it says. You just know that this looks like some snooty bougie liqueur, and there's 3 full bottles of it, unopened, untouched.
Even with my eyes of the rune keeper?
You have to focusly activate it. So you can choose to do that if you wish. It doesn't just come to you naturally. It's a focus, it's a concentration.
Okay, I get it. I don't really care. I was just questioning it.
Sure.
I'm going to open the smallest bottle.
Yep.
Take
And
the
you do that.
jewel and hand it to
Take the
Dawson.
jewel. Yep. You can do that. And as you feel, go ahead and roll a investigation check for me. Roll your D20, add your investigation skill to it. No, you can go ahead and turn that off. And I'm going to unpin everything.
Investigation?
Yes. 7. So what you can tell is that this is indeed a jewel. You know that it's not like a for show thing. You don't know its worth. You don't know exactly what it is. A 7's not high enough to say like you've encountered this before, but you do know that it's a genuine. You can tell by its weight, kind of the way the cut feels across it. It's the genuine deal. And so as you pocket that, you have basically a jewel of undetermined value that you now have added to it. Are you going to take a swig of this swill?
I gave it to Yassin because
Because
it's the smallest bottle. But I took the jewel first.
yeah, so are you going to take a swig of this?
Yeah.
All right. I want you to give me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh
on that.
no. Oh no.
This is strong stuff. We're going to see how well you can hold your liquor, basically.
Oh no.
Hope and hope I can. I'm a pirate.
I don't mean nothing. No,
Plus three.
That just went.
That's going to be a 12.
So that's pretty good. I rolled an 8. So all you had to do is beat an 8. As you drink this, you're actually pretty familiar with this ale. As you taste it going down, you're like, oh yeah. And you feel that very welcoming burn as it just travels down into your belly. And you're like, oh, and you kind of, you cough just a little bit. And you know that this is High Elf Reserve is its official name, High Elf Reserve. It's not the greatest of all the high elf drinks that you have particularly sampled. Being a pirate, you have had your fill of different wines and liquors and ales and stuff. But you know that this is pretty good. It's pretty good stuff. It's a pretty good vintage, and you enjoy it. And it's going to take quite a bit to get you buzzed and floored at this rate. So what else would anybody else like to do with their time before your baths are ready?
You said there was bread.
There is bread. Yep, there's bread.
Estrella's gonna go for some carbs. She's gonna sit next to Nim and offer her a little snack. We're gonna eat a little snack.
I'm gonna take off a little piece and give it to Crumbs, who's sitting on the other side, or on my knee rather. Like
Yeah.
right there.
Crumbs is gonna take that, and as he does, you're gonna see his little nose pop up onto the table and just kind of sniff around and look for anything else he might have. And he hops up onto the table and he's like, sweet, sweet, and he just grabs it and starts eating. You watch him sit, and as he sits, you can tell, like Nim, you know this, but Astrella, you can, now that you've seen like full on Crumbs, he's got like a belly. Like this is a well-fed rat.
It's a baby.
And as he sits down on his haunches, he just looks like a little old fat guy, just whoop, and just eating his little bread there and everything.
Living his best life. I would just want to give him a little head scritch while he eats his little bread.
Go ahead and roll an animal handling.
Oh no. Okay.
Uh-oh, is he gonna like Estrella or not?
That's okay. This was supposed to be a wholesome moment.
Crumbs is like,
Fuck you. Animal handling. Okay. Let's use a different dice than the one I used last time. Oh, 18. We're best
Oh,
friends.
that's long. So not only does Crumbs like you, as you scratch him, you kind of see him close his eyes and he leans in, and you hit the good spot. And you watch just his little foot go tap 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 tap, and you hear this like little squeak, squeak. And you are now instant friends with Crumbs. Crumbs will die for you. You rolled such a high animal handling that
Crumbs will die.
you are Crumbs'
Oh, she got the
new
good
best
spot,
friend.
didn't she? Oh my goodness. Yeah. Most people don't know where that spot is. You just got it. First try.
Can I-
Well done. Yes.
I'm gonna grab the biggest bottle and I'm gonna head over to where he said the footprints would be.
Yes. Now this is very
Very
important.
Sherlock Holmes of you.
Are you going to drink before?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
gonna drink before. I thought this through.
Well done. So you have this big bottle, and this is a oh gosh, I don't know how big an average wine bottle is, like a 12 ounce, a 20 ounce, somewhere in that range. You've got a good like a 2 liter soda. You know, you've got like 2 liters of High Elf Reserve here. If you milk it, it'll last you a while. If you drink it through the night, you might have a bit of a hangover, but we'll have to roll for that. All depends. But as you're looking, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
With one of those?
Yep. Roll a d20. Add your investigation skill to it,
I think you like that one too much.
and let's see what you can see outside.
11.
11. So
It's not great.
you can definitely tell that there are footprints. You see them coming from the door, and you notice that they're just right in the mud. But as you follow them into the woods, you kind of lose them. Probably about 20 feet into the woods as you follow. Even with your dark vision, you can see clearly, but something about the brush, the rain, the wind and mud, it kind of covers up some of the tracks, and you lose them about 20 feet into the woods. But you get a sense of the direction that he went. He, from the tavern's door faces south, and so he went north. And that's about as good as you know. As you kind of see that the path, he didn't go left or right when you lost him. He was just going straight. So you could guess that he's probably going north. From the way the footprints are, you guess that he has probably about a 2 to 3 hour head start on you if you were to run and track him. You can see a bit of the mud starting to cake a little bit around the edges of the footprint, letting you know that he's out there. Whether or not you want to follow is, of course, your choice, but that's what you know.
What was his name again?
Kirin.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry. I just wanted to see what I could see.
Mhm.
So
I'm not gonna leave the group.
Yeah.
I have a little question though.
Yes.
Well, Nim's just sitting here next to her new bestest friend, and Yassin's in there and stuff like that. She just wants to make a casual like insight check
Okay.
to her fellow party members, just to see if she can figure out just any little details that might give her a little bit of insight to something.
Sure. Go ahead and roll insight. We'll see what you can learn about your peeps.
I'm curious. I'm a curious little one.
What'd you get?
What?
You got a 1?
Out of that one.
You can tell we are humans,
You want that to count?
but not really.
Dawson
Not
or
really.
Astrella?
We're
I'll let you
breathing.
choose.
That ale be hitting her strong.
I'm gonna say Yassin because he's not close to me. Let's hope Estrella's is
Okay,
better.
go ahead, roll an insight on Astrella, and let's see what happens here.
Oh,
That was
Let's share our thoughts, bestie.
okay, it's okay. It's a 10. 10.
10. So here's what you can tell about Yassin. He's a guy.
Yeah, Yassin's a dude.
He's absolutely a dude,
Yes.
Sure
that
about that
guy.
one.
and he's blue. You can absolutely
He's a
tell
blue
that
dude.
he's a blue guy. He's blue.
He's blue.
He's blue.
There's a group about that.
But you really cannot tell anything else, and maybe the fight has gotten to you just a little bit. The distance, you can't tell much else other than what you've already known. You're a little tired. But as you turn to look at Astrella and kind of steady her a bit, with a 10, you notice one thing, and what you notice is that Astrella seems to be hesitant when it comes to how far she reaches or how big her movements are. You don't know why or what that's about, but she's very controlled. She moves in a very controlled fashion and never overreaches, overdoes anything. And that's all you get from her.
She's a lady.
I'm not trying to bore into their souls. I'm just
Yeah.
trying to figure it out a little bit. I'm being observant.
Yeah. Astrella to you is just very similar to a lot of elves that you've known in the past. Very proper, very controlled with her movements, not at all that different from strength. But that's what you see. Yassin, on the other hand, is just, have you been taking more swigs of your reserve there?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think Yassin's been.
Karaoke in the background.
He's just he's sipping steadily and he's counting his gold.
It's
You
nice.
got your feet up on on the chairs or on like the table and just leaning back.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
Grim, at this time you're coming back in, and you can see Yassin just counting his gold, drinking away. You see crumbs and everybody just kind of
Everybody dying over
Just-
crumbs.
just everybody just gushing and stuff. Anything else anybody wants to do? This is your last action before Dareth comes to let you know your baths and your rooms are ready.
Nope, I'm ready for it, back.
Okay.
Can I do like, I don't want it to sound weird, but like aura check?
Are you gonna vibe check us?
Yeah, you're gonna check the bath.
Much arcana, I guess.
Give me an
Be
arcana.
like, not
What are you looking-
magic though, but like their sense,
Sure, absolutely.
like good or bad or complicated or whatever.
Gemini.
Complicated.
Virgo.
Go ahead and roll. I want you to give me 3 rolls, and you can decide who those numbers go to.
Oh, geez. Oh, geez.
Okay, so go ahead.
And
Yeah.
what would this be under?
Arcana. So you're gonna add.
Arcana?
Yep.
You should have a decent arcana.
10 for 1.
Okay, 1 to 10. Cool.
15 for 1.
Okay, 10 and 15, and your last one.
18.
Okay,
Okay.
so 10, 15, and 18. Who do you want your highest roll to be for? Who do you want to know the most about? Nim, Yassin, or Astrella?
Yassin.
Yassin, okay. Who's the 15 going to?
Nim.
Okay, and 10 for Astrella. Yeah, okay, so here's what you learn about their auras as you step in. Coming into the room, you can see all 3 of them. They're not really aware of you. They're not unaware. They're just, they're doing their own thing, talking, counting, eating, drinking. And you sort of take a step. And as you do, this shockwave comes from you. And it's just like almost this daredevil, like sonic sense. And the room starts to shift and everything goes black. And you start to see your teammates in colors. And from those colors, you register something about them. You're reading their auras and you're focused on them for this 3 seconds. The first aura that jumps out to you is Yassin. With an 18, you can tell that the way that he acts, which is very innocent, jovial, kind, is only a very small part of who he is. There is a darkness, a heaviness to his aura that you recognize in your own aura. He's killed.
I told you it was the
And you can tell that he is a person who has killed and who has done things that, like yourself, are a little bit more violent than maybe his personality lets on. And so you can instantly see a kindred spirit with him in that sense. You know his aura. You know him. He is a killer.
friend. I got you.
Friend.
When you look at Nim, you have a hard time seeing her aura. There is a yellowness, a brightness about her, but there is something else that is drawing your attention to her. With a 15, which again is a pretty high roll, you can see that there is a second aura about her, and it centers around her satchel and then kind of covers over her body. And this aura is pitch black. And so you can definitely tell that there are 2 souls present there, two very particular creatures, her and something else giving off an aura. And you can tell it's not crumbs because crumbs on the table,
It's just the crumbs
right
is a
yellow
jewel.
little sunspot there, just this little ball of joy.
Fun spot.
Yeah, crumbs is just a little ball of joy to you. When you look at Astrella, at a 10, you can't tell a whole lot about her, other than the fact that her aura doesn't seem as strong as the other 2. You're not sure if that's because you're tired from the fight and maybe your senses are just a little bit dulled and you need to rest, or if it's because maybe Astrella needs rest, maybe it's taken a bit out of her, but her aura just doesn't shine as strong. It almost flickers a little bit, and it's hard for you to kind of focus onto it. And you're not sure what that means. And after those 3 seconds have passed, the room returns to its normal orange, warm glow. Everybody has their normal skin tones, and you are free to do whatever else you would like. Yassin, Nim, then neither of you have expressed a last request before bedtime.
I think Yassin's just
Counting money.
well, he's rounded, he's finished up counting money, and I think he's looking forward to the bath because gotta rest the muscles, you know.
Oh, he's gonna take a fucking nap.
Nice bath.
He's gonna.
Nice.
Uh,
Nim, anything that you would like to do before Dareth comes down?
I'm gonna jump off the counter, realizing that Grim came into the room. I'll be like, "Oh, Grim, come here, come here, come here." I gently picked up crumbs beforehand
Yeah.
and put him on Estrella's lap. I'm like, "There you go,
Yeah.
your new best
We're
friend."
just- yeah, we're
I'm
vibing.
gonna jump down and be like, I was going to offer you a drink, but it looks like you have one. Have you tried it yet? Is it good? Is it all it's cracked up to be?
Is it wine, you said?
It is a high elf wine, yes. And go ahead and give me a Constitution saving throw. Let's see how well you hold your alcohol with this one.
Add your Constitution too. It's in the saving throws box.
Okay. Constitution. $11.
You took a hard hit against the Blight Boar. Your life was definitely lower than everybody else, and your Eldritch Blast took a lot out of you to pour in that much power. So when you take in this high elf reserve, this wine, do you like or not like wine? Your character, let me know now, and I'll let you know.
It's alcohol, so yeah.
Okay, so as you drink this, it has a pleasant floral flavor to it. A little bit of a kind of a sweet berry floral note afterwards. It goes down very pleasantly, but as it goes down and kind of settles into your stomach, your head just immediately kind of floats about a foot off your body, and you're like, hey, this is the shit. Like you are in your happy place right now. If you were
Much
to
like
enter-
wine. Regular wine does.
If you were to
Telling
enter
you,
a fight,
Wine drunk is different.
So you are definitely feeling not just a buzz, you are tipsy. It's good stuff.
So is that all she says to them?
Be like,
I see how it is. Is there another bottle in there? Is there another one?
yes.
Yeah.
You're gonna
But
go.
the jewel is conveniently missing.
You're gonna go all creepy if I go, take a swig.
Just don't drink at all.
So possessive of her alcohol. A swig, Nim.
I'm going to I'm gonna go over there and be like, I don't know what's so fancy about this. Like, usually they have like fancy stuff on the top of them, but this one doesn't have anything. It's just kind of.
Yeah, don't forget, Grim, that you have 3 jewels of undetermined value. Make a note of that somewhere.
I literally was just like gems question mark and
Yeah.
then put 3. That's why I took all the top. You can have that bottle. I just wanted all the toppers.
You have all the toppers.
I'm gonna shake it a little bit because you said it was shimmery or whatever.
Yeah, and as you shake it, a little bit kind of sloshes out the top. It's a full
Oh.
bottle, but on the inside, you can see where maybe Yassin and Grim didn't just taking their swigs. You see almost this kind of star dusty pattern kind of form around it. And it, it's very pretty. You can tell that there may have been a teeny weeny bit of magic that's used on it to give it that kind of shimmer. And then being a high elf yourself, as soon as you see that shimmer, you recognize and know what type of ale this is, what the wine is, this high elf reserve.
Oh, that's what this fancy shit is. I know what this is. I put it down in front of Crumbs and be like, look at this. I'm really just gonna play with it. I'm not gonna actually drink it.
As you play with it, a bit sloshes out, and Crumbs immediately kind of goes. He kind of hops off of Astrella's lap and goes over to it. Just
Oh,
he kind of looks up and looks at you, and you see his eyes kind of drop a bit, and this almost little ratty smile appear on his face, and he just is like, squeak. And
I like him more and more.
Crumbs is drunk.
oh, you need a bath, and oh, I'm a bad mummy. Estrella, she just shoves the bottle at Estrella and gives it to her, and she's like, okay, you don't need to have.
As
What
you
did I
pick
tell
up,
you?
as you pick him up, he's uneasy on his feet, and as you move, he's like, "Wah, wah," and he kind of wiggles a bit until he just sits in your hand, and just all four legs come out, and just and he just sits, just squeak, and he's just boom.
Does
This
he
poor
hiccup?
guy.
What?
So does he hiccup?
Oh,
He's a little squeak.
Perfection.
At this time, Dareth comes down and he goes, I see you've all gotten into, and he looks into the little door. All of it. Yeah, that's fine. He won't miss it. Is everybody good to go? Your baths are ready, your rooms are ready. If you'll follow me, I'll show you where each of you are staying for the night.
carefully.
Dareth looks at me and goes, can't hold his liquor, can he?
Just a lick, I swear.
He's a little guy, but
I tried.
he'll be fine. I don't envy the hangover he's going to have in the morning, but he'll be fine. And all of you follow him as you go up the stairs, and he just kind of walks down this. It's built like a square, the top of this tavern, and you can see as it goes off, the angles turn. And so he walks and points. This room here, this is for Astrella. He moves a few more feet. Yassin, a few more feet. Nim, and at the very end here, Grim. And so you guys are just on this straightaway, and Grim, you're right at the corner where it turns off and goes around. There are probably, maybe a dozen rooms that are in this square upstairs. But the four that you have being right next to the staircase that leads down, when you open your doors, they're big, very similar to what you had in the Tavern of Realms. They're a good size. But what's even more important is that in the back of each room, there is this separate little alcove. It's built into a wall, has a curtain that goes across it. And as you pull on your curtains, there is a big clawfoot tub in each of these rooms that has just steaming water that's been filled with. Next to them each is a bucket with additional steaming water if you want to add to that and make it a little bit hotter. There is also a nice bed with the covers pulled down. There is a wash basin so that you could wash your face and your hands in the morning.
All 4 miles, man.
This is my real life dream.
Yeah, right.
For real.
Everybody has a little mint cookie on a little napkin on each of your beds. He went all out for us.
Did he get Crumbs a bath?
There is, and so in your room, then on the table where the wash basin is, there is a bowl there, just a big soup bowl, and it has a little bit of steamy water in there for him, and it's just enough for Crumbs to get inside. Which let Crumbs down, and he sort of crawls in. He hangs his head and his front paws kind of on the edge of the bowl, and just his butt bob in the water there. You see his tail kind of floating. You see goes. And he's starting to fall asleep, and he's enjoying his
I'm gonna keep an eye on him, but
yeah.
I'm gonna go take a bath.
He's good. So as all of you kind of turn down for the night, you take your baths. The water is rejuvenating, the steam, you kind of feel it, washing the grime and gook of all of this, these pig guts that are on you. And you all sleep. You are able to take a long rest. Being in the tavern, this is a safe location. Nothing hurts you. Nothing's going to bad guy. And so you all take a long rest. As such, all of your spell slots are restored. All of your life is back to full. And any charges on your weapons or things like that that you use, everything is restored back to full. You are good to
My
go.
health is back.
Yes, everything is back to full.
You have a long rest, so everything goes back.
So on your sites, you can take the long rest, and you can hit that button, and it just restores everything for you. I would like each of you to make a wisdom saving throw. We're going to see what kind of dreams you have.
Ooh.
Ooh, we're getting deep.
I have 0 to add.
A what? A
Oh, that's
con?
weird.
Wisdom saving
Oh.
throw.
Wisdom saving throw.
Roll your dice and stop making fun of my modifiers.
12.
I have 0 as well.
Oh,
nice.
16, bitch. Making fun of my +0.
Okay, who rolled higher than a 13? Just Astrella? The rest of you roll lower than a 13.
Oh my god, am I better than everyone?
Okay, so we'll do Astrella first. You had a great night's rest. Before you went to bed, you took a drop of that vial, and you were able to kind of put that on some of the scars and wounds that you have that you've been hiding from everyone. You're able to just, as you disrobe, you see all these areas, you just sort of drop one on your arm, and you watch all of them across your body. Wherever you might have a legion, it all gets a little bit better. And you watch it, whatever progressed during the fight, it sort of comes back, and you just have kind of a light scarring, and nothing looks as deadly as it did before. Now, just so you know, Astrella, your vial will last for 15 nights. 15 uses after this one. I'll give you this one as a freebie.
Okay.
You have 15 uses. Once you are done with those 15 uses, you will either have to figure out how to make more of this or a different solution, but that is it. And you don't necessarily have to use it every night. Your condition, shall we say, would take more than a night, more than 24 hours to get truly troublesome. So if you want to ration it, it is your choice how you use those 15.
Okay.
Okay, everybody else give me your numbers. This is going to determine the severity of your nightmares.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm having the worst nightmare.
What's your number?
5.
Holy shit.
I got a 7.
Damn.
Oh
Okay,
yeah, I'm ready for
Yassin,
this. I wanted something trippy, so let's go.
What'd you get, Yassin?
12.
12. Okay. Being the closest to 13, your night is not terrible, but what you see in your dreams is your ship being lost from you. You are reliving that moment in that memory in these brief flashes. You can see Greg as he kind of screams and calls for mutiny. And you hear, and Greg, by the way, unless you have any objections to this, I was going to make him a dwarf. You cool with that?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Oh, Greg.
So he's
He's
this little dwarf, but he's just barrel-chested, big-armed kind of person. You see his cutlass raise up, and you hear him cry for mutiny. You see the surprise on some of the people who are loyal to you as they're killed left and right before you can really react. You feel this net kind of fall onto your body, and you feel yourself get tossed overboard. And as you are struggling against the net and as it drags you down below the depths of the sea, you can see just your boat as it goes above, just barely just going off into the distance. And you wake up and you're not fully startled. This is not a new dream for you, but you kind of shake it off and roll over and go back to sleep. And for the rest of the night, you're fine. Nim,
Oh,
as you sleep,
no.
you go back to your time at the temple where you first acquired this amulet. And you see this dragonborn, this blue dragonborn with his wings spread wide as he reaches and grabs this jewel, this amulet that you now possess. And as he does, you watch him melt. The skin first, his muscles, until he's just down to bone and veins and organs. And you watch all of this just dissolve into a puddle as you hear this horrific scream in your mind. And the gem's color, this green energy, just rises and brightens, and it just blinds you. And you wake up and you're just covered in sweat. 4 hours have passed, which is enough for an elf to get a long rest, but you are unable to get back to sleep because all you could hear in your mind are the screams of this warlock as he succumbed to the power of the amulet. Grim.
I'm not worried, it's fine.
Grim, your dreams are filled with what's normal for you: blood and guts and gore and booze, and the alcohol's sitting weird. It's doing some things to you, but none of the violence of your dreams is really what's disturbing you. What disturbs you is that in every corner, in every shadow, everywhere you would look, you see Alexander. And you say it with me. You see him, but you don't see him always in the fine suit and the white hair, the ash color. You don't see him always as he appears to you. You occasionally see his true form, and you only see it as a flash of shadow. And Alexander's true form is something truly terrifying. This shadowy demon creature that is large and hulking, and with him is this feeling of dread and guilt that comes with it, this heavy, heavy guilt. And every time you see this shadow, you see a flash of blood, and you hear the screams of someone who you know very, very well. You hear the screams of your father, and all you feel over and over is this heavy, heavy guilt. And it's not the images, it's not even Alexander's true demonic form that gets you. It is the oppressive feeling that he is putting upon you, and this whisper of, I own you. Never forget that. And you wake up, not in the start, not with a scream, not even with sweat, but just with his voice, as if he is right next to you on the bed. You can even feel the pressure of his hands as he leans on the bed next to you and whispers this. But when you turn to look, there's nothing there. The room is empty. And you are just left with this impression of him watching.
I got you.
As the sun rises and greets each of you, Astrella, you are waking up rested and just, yeah, it's all good for you. Nothing severe. Yassin, you shrug off another night of, yeah, my damn boat, whatever. Of course, Nim, you.
I've been up for hours. I'm outside like exercising.
Yep, you're out exercising, doing your morning routine. You watch the sun rise over the town of Phandalin. Grim, you see it rise in your window. All of you had, your full rest. Nothing to worry about. Nothing bad happened that you have to worry about this day. But you're all left with some thoughts in your heads. Those of you who had the worst nightmares. As you come downstairs, breakfast is waiting for all of you. There is definitely plenty of ham and bacon and mead and everything that you drink. It is all there waiting for all of you. And you can see that the tavern actually has a bit of life to it. There are some people walking in, all getting their morning breakfast and some coffee and different drinks that they like to have. And again, every townsperson that you see greets you warmly. Some of them pat you on the back. Some of them want to shake your hands. The town loves you. There's not a person who gives you a stink eye. You are the talk of the town, quite literally. Anything you all want to do or say or talk to each other before Strength is going to come in, because he'll be coming in soon.
Well, I don't know if anybody notices that I come in from outside, but I'm coming in from outside.
They would see
I'm
that.
gonna sit down next to all the slightly still waking up people and be like, "Hi guys, how you doing? Good morning."
I'm going to take the bottle of alcohol I still have
Yep.
and chug a good bit after that.
Oh.
The hair of the dog.
Okay.
One of those mornings.
Okay. You're not gonna make her roll anything for that?
No, I'll let her have it.
Okay.
After the night she's had, I feel that like grim sort
In
of-
my soul needed that.
I feel like you function at a level of drunk that's like
Oh, yeah.
acceptable for you. It's like Tony Stark, you're just there's a level of fuzz that she always had. That's how she survives.
Right. Cool.
All right. Anything else anybody wants to do or say?
Nope.
Nope. All right. So as you all are eating in relative silence, trying to ignore Nim's chipper attitude as
Oh, I'm talking loudly to Crumbs, and I'm going to be annoying.
Yeah, she
I'm
is
going
one
to
of
be
those-
excited and energized, and I'm ready
Oh.
for the day, and I'm going to be eating my breakfast and sharing some with my rat.
morning Pinker Grim's just sitting there. Yeah. Uh-huh. As you do, you hear a door open, and that's of course the main tavern door. And walking through is Strength, who himself also seems very again put together. He's wearing different clothes. Instead, now he has chosen to wear a green tunic that he has tied around with a dark black sash and some black pants. The collar is rimmed with some gold trim and mixed with his regal bearing. Again, he feels very much like one of the town's leaders. But in his hand, he has this really big book. Looks old and dusty and well worn. The leather on it has been torn in several places. And as he kind of sits down with all of you, he doesn't really greet or anything. He just sits down, opens the book. All of you can smell the mustiness from the pages. It's been around a while. Nim, this is very similar to a lot of the tomes and things that you've seen throughout the monks.
Oh, I'm
and
just
the-
coughing and being dramatic, but I'm
Yeah.
gonna be like,
You
Right,
really
okay.
doing the most.
you know it.
And so he looks at the four of you and he goes, I have been up all night and, well, I have discovered something interesting about this horn, as you call it, and perhaps its location. And Strength turns a couple of pages, turns the book and kind of shoves it towards all of you. And you can see that there is this sketch of a horn, this long, kind of almost like a ram's horn as it's kind of spreads out, covered in gold bands, kind of around the top, middle, bottom, jewels and stuff. You could easily recognize this horn anywhere now, very similar to what Seth had showed you earlier as well in some of his pages. With the horn, though, you notice that there are some runes that look like they are carved into rocks. And you see sketches of these rock walls and things and these runes that are kind of go along with all of this. And then some writing on the side. And Strength looks and he goes, to sum up, so you don't have to read all of this, this horn is ancient. It has been around for definitely a millennia or more. Some of our more ancient elven scholars say that this came from another realm, perhaps a realm between realms, though I don't know if they're meaning this to be poetic or if it is actual truth. The translation gets difficult. What I can tell you is that the journey of the horn took it all throughout Vandalin, but it ended up very close to here, or so legend says. There is a castle ruin not far from here that was once owned by Zeroku and his wife. I'm sure you've heard their names spread throughout town. Highfell Castle. And here's what's interesting, something nobody else would know. The castle was once owned by an ancient elven monastic order, which their tribe has been lost to time. But they were said to worship an elder god, a creature who called himself Thonis. It doesn't say much on the creature, but these particular elves worshipped him as the bringer of darkness and rebirth,
Oh.
and knew that this instrument was of his essence and guarded it with their lives. There is a good chance that this is beneath the ruins now. But what lies there, nobody knows. Did we lose Melissa? She seems to have paused. Wait, we got her back.
I missed part. My
Yeah,
screen
where'd you cut
went
out?
black.
Where'd you
I
cut
don't
out?
know. They worshipped him, and I came back
No worries, I'll take it.
underneath.
Yep, I'll pick it up from there.
Sorry.
No, you're good. They worshipped him as the elder god of darkness and rebirth. They also knew that this horn was of his essence, and they guarded it with their lives. It stands to reason that it is probably still there now, though no one has ever ventured into the catacombs of that castle, not since Zeroku and Norshella vanished about 11 to 15 years ago. That was all I could find, yes.
How old is that statue?
That statue has been here for the past 20 years. Zeroku and Norshella used to live within that castle until about 15 years ago, 5 years after the statue was created in their honor. We're not sure what happened to them, and the goblins that ran it couldn't seem to upkeep its care without the two of them present. We had some skirmishes with their kind in the years since, but everything has gone quiet recently. We don't venture out there much anymore. There's an old hermit who lives not far from the castle. He may know more.
Okay. Are any of the rocky ruins look like the rocks that I have?
Yes, you would recognize them. Anybody who saw those rocks would recognize the writing as being the same script, the same language.
Are you gonna let them be known to the group?
Yeah, I was about to do that. I'm going to take them out of my bag and be like,
Okay.
oh, these look very similar, and I'm gonna kind of line them up in what I think is the right order.
Strength is going to look at you and go, may I?
Sure.
He's going to take the rocks and he's going to see if any of them match what's in the book. None of them do, but he goes, clearly the same language. Where did you get these?
Oh, off of this really cool tabaxi set.
Oh,
He thought they were just rocks, though, so I just thought they were pretty, and I wanted to put them together. I like looking at old things, so like, it's a thing I do. But I don't know what they say. They're cool, but I don't know what they say. You can stop me anytime. It's fine. I don't know.
I just wanted to see how long you would go.
Okay.
Don't. She'll do it forever. Can I read them?
I do not recognize what they say either, though I consider myself very learned in ancient elf.
Oh, darn.
Can I focus and try to read it?
Yes, you can. And so using your ability, you instantly recognize, and I'm actually looking to see what the what it says. Hang on.
Okay.
Aha, here we go. So you recognize the letters, and you can tell it the way that Nim put them together. Oh wait, did we lose Melissa again? Okay, no, okay, you just paused.
I was looking at my screen over there. Sorry.
You're good.
I was like, what again?
You lost her again. You recognize the letters. They almost as if you feel Alexander's hand on your shoulder. At that feeling of his touch in your mind, the letters become regular to you, as if they're ABCs or whatever that looks like in the Tiefling language. And you can start to grab and you move them around. And everybody's watching as you just kind of put the puzzle together very differently from what Nin had.
In my mind
When you're done,
palace.
you can see that it is a phrase, almost a title. And it says, "The Lullaby of the Night Mother." And that is what this reads. And you get the impression that the way that it is ordered, and you see almost a little bit of extra script kind of below it, almost the top of a letter, if you will. You can tell that this is almost like a poem or something that might have been written on a tablet. There is definitely, this is only a small piece of a bigger whole, but you instantly know what it says.
Is it Knight or Night?
Night, like night outside.
Okay, gotcha. I was just double checking. I don't know.
Absolutely. Good question. Everybody else, you watch Grim do this. You watch her reorganize this almost as if another power has taken her over, and her eyes kind of glaze over for a second as she reorganizes them, and she sits back, and you watch this expression on her face of satisfaction.
Yassin just leads in and goes, "What does it say?"
Do I still have the coded eyes?
Yeah, you know exactly what it says. It's the Lullaby of the Night Mother. You can read it as plain as day.
No, am I still like
Spaced out.
spaced
No,
out?
your focus comes back.
Oh, okay. I was just like, can I even talk?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna tell them from what I've gathered. It says the Lullaby of the Night Mother. Yeah.
Is that a night or like nighty night? Like which night is it? Like a Knight? I can spell, I swear.
Like when the sun goes away and it is night.
Like bedtime, like nighty night.
Yes.
Strength looks at you, Grim, and he goes, and then he gets this knowing look on your face, and he knows perhaps what you might be or the patron that you might serve. And he's like, interesting. I never thought to ask a warlock for help with this.
Oh, is that what you are? I didn't know if it was like warlock or sorcerer or whatever the little dooby things, magic.
You travel with her and know not where her power comes from.
I am a very considerate person. I don't just go around asking, how would you feel if I just went like, you, what are you? You know magic-y things. What are you?
I am a scholar. She is a warlock whose power comes from a patron, some demonic entity.
Well, I knew that. Like, I know what a warlock is, okay?
You are a monk, and judging by your clothes,
Well, that's a little obvious.
But your order is one that deals with talismans and objects of darkness. Supposedly your order was wiped out years ago, but clearly those were just rumors.
Clearly. I mean, I'm standing here.
Astrella, he looks at you and he goes, you're either a paladin or a cleric, judging by your dress. But given how you fought yesterday and the way you jumped to heal, I'm guessing you're a cleric, are you not?
Correct.
And he looks at you, Yassin, and he goes, the sea is strong on you. A pirate, a fighter, but those tattoos that you wear, more than just for look, I take it, there is some magical power that emanates from them.
Everybody's got magic except me.
And then he looks at you one more time, Nim, and he looks at your hands, and you see him breathe in. You found the gloves, did you not?
Do you see gloves on these hands? I don't know what you're talking about.
Precisely. Interesting. That would explain how you're able to grab what you do. The four of you are as easy to read as this book.
I wouldn't say that was very easy to read, but that's just
Easy for one who knows. Listen, the four of you are clearly new at being an adventuring group together. Might I advise that you know each other's strengths and weaknesses before you engage in where this horn may be. He flips one page and he goes, on it, you see this almost like starburst pattern. And in the middle of it is just one glyph. And it's a glyph that anyone could be able to recognize in any language because it is a warning sign. I don't know what that looks like in medieval times, but it's a warning sign, you know, like a stop sign, but like a warning thing, like an X, like it's a medieval warning sign.
I got you. There's a dragon and it's got a cross. Like, no.
I think it's pronounced glyph, actually.
It's a what?
Ew, ew. You take your
Oh no,
you take your
I'm
soul.
single now.
A what? A limb?
a glyph. Instead of a glyph, it's a glyph.
GIF
Oh.
versus GIF. It's funnier now that I explained it. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Okay, so you see this warning sign, clear as day. And you hear strength as he leans into the group and goes, there is a trial that awaits any who claim the horn. The trial is one of the spirit, of the heart, and of your inner nature. Not just anyone can claim this horn. And if you fail, it will claim your life.